Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast, episode 4. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
We're here to offer and ask for full forgiveness from Matt J, genius of our time, the next Stephen Hawking.
There he is. Look at him go.
So, you join us after 2 heroic battles on the pitch for the very soul of Exeter City and our promotion hopes, season 18-19.
Yeah, wow.
What a week it's been.
It has been a bit of a week, hasn't it?
Right, old do.
Yeah. A bit of a kind of, I don't know how to feel about it, you know? It's a bit, I mean, on the whole, great. It's great, isn't it? Considering, like, all things considered. That's,
It's always going to hurt, isn't it? A 97th minute equaliser against dirty Lincoln.
it's sickening.
Sickening slugs.
Already, you little slugs.
Well, sorry to the good people of Lincoln, but
Is there any?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Daniel Cowley's not from there, so I don't want to tar them with his brush.
Yeah, maybe not.
But he deserves a right old kick up the jacksie.
Yeah.
Because what's the matter with him?
Yeah, have a bit of decorum.
Have a bit of decorum, mate. You look like a guy that takes a lot of care of his beard, and yet you take no care with your words and no care with your actions.
Yeah, taking a lot of care with that just for men, isn't he? But not much with...
Yeah. Next year, Lincoln, League One, sponsored by Grecian 2000. Daniel Cowley will be on that box. But what's that all? I mean, what's the matter with him? People say, he's a good guy, and I don't even know his brother's name. I don't want to know his brother's name, but I do know this. He doesn't stay in his technical area. He's always in the ear of the fourth official. Nothing's good enough for his precious Lincoln players. Oh, I'm sorry, is Matt Reed's toenail hurt? Get stuffed, mate.
Oh, Matt Reed, he's not a monster. Isn't he?
Well, why is he
looks
so?
like one.
Why is he so precious about this word monster? Matt Taylor knew what he was saying, and it was a perfectly reasonable thing to say. They got some big lads up front.
Yeah, so he said words to the effect of, they've got some monsters in that team. As in, it wasn't even a kind of dig, was it? It wasn't even like a veiled dig. If anything, it was like just almost a compliment. Of being like they're like a strong team who've got these kind of brutish players who can really do some damage. I don't think it's not his style, is it? And Cowley just really took that the wrong way, I think.
I think he's just playing the game. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. It's
Yeah.
PE teacher games. We had a PE teacher just like him, and he was a PE teacher, right, Cowley?
He looks like one, so let's say he was.
He was one. No, he was one. I'm sure that's true. And I had a PE teacher just like him, and shout out to London Community College alumni, if you're out there, because our PE teacher, he'd say, come on, boys, there's only a bit of hail, snow, hurricane weather. We'd all be out there in our shirts and shorts, and then out he would come, full Arctic gear. Cowley's just like that. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing up. He thinks he's working for him and whatever. I'm going to embrace my inner Keegan and say, I'll love it if they don't get automatics.
Ha.
I'd love it.
But I think they will, won't they?
I think they probably will, but we did a good job at holding him off.
We did. I mean, and I don't know. It's like you look at the team that team that we are from the last few games. Like that's sort of that's not the same side, is it? That lost 1-0 to Macclesfield earlier this season, or even the team that started well this season. It does look like a different kind of outfit, and
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. They can find goals from anywhere. If you don't know, listeners, we're talking
find
about
goals from anywhere except from the strikers.
Well,
still.
Maybe that's true. But if you don't know, listeners, we're talking about City's 1-1 away draw with Lincoln City. City went into the lead in the 27th minute, I think, with an absolute beaut of a free kick, and we'll talk about that more in a second. And then Lincoln equalised right at the last gasp. If you were there, tell us, how was it? How was Cowley behaving? Is he the monster? I think he might be. Get in touch. bigbankpod@gmail.com or on Twitter @bigbankpod. But Dan, we have to hold our hands up. We have to hold them high. You can't see this, listeners, because you're listening, but our hands are high above our heads in the name of Matt J, who we questioned, had he even ever scored for City?
I didn't think I could remember even that he had actually scored.
And we were corrected rightly on Twitter.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. We're going to need that going forward. That's probably not the first incorrect thing I've said, and it definitely won't be the last. So that's what we need that's what we need the interaction for. Tell us what we're
Absolutely.
getting
We're not
wrong.
here as experts. We're here as hearts. We're here as lungs. We're here as people with big gobs and strong attitudes.
Yeah.
But we haven't got the facts.
and free time.
So if you've got the facts, please get in touch. So we got the facts wrong. Matt Jay had scored for City before, but then lo and behold, I mean, I don't want to blow my own Twitter trumpet, but I called it.
You did.
When I saw that
I
lineup,
couldn't believe it.
I thought maybe it's time. Maybe we've badmouthed him too much, and I think he knows. I think he's heard us, and he steps up to the mic, the free kick spot, and scores one free kick and one goal in open play in the next 2 games. One to win the game for us at Crewe, and then one to put us ahead.
Lovely goal that too, that one against Crewe. The feet, lovely feet, and lovely little layoff from Woodman. Do you see Woodman's? I know he does this all the time, but him joining in with the celebrations involves sort of 3 quite lackluster claps and then just jogging back into position while everyone else goes crazy.
I like that.
Yeah, professional.
He's done a professional job there. Well, good on him, Woodman, and especially good on Matt Jay. Maybe he's finding his position there.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, he's depping for Nicky Law, isn't he? He's in that position, and he wouldn't have been playing if Law was fit.
No. So hands up, who, when they saw that team sheet, we thought, oh, no Nicky Law, and who's going to be the creative person here? No Boateng, obviously. And yet, there he was. Matt Jay did it all beautifully, reminding me of a young Gianfranco Zola.
Yeah.
Well, there's something about him.
Or a young Giovinco,
Ooh.
whose nickname I have reappropriated for him, the Atomic Ant.
Yeah, Dan, I had an atomic ant once, but her and my uncle fell out and split up.
Ah. Yeah, it took me a while, that one.
It's not my best.
He's your new one.
Well, Matt, I'd have Matt Jay as an aunt, a kind of quirky aunt, shorter than me. When she kissed me, whiskers kind of tickled my chin.
Yeah, lovely hair.
Lovely hair. He's got lovely long hair. And Randall Williams, take note, he styled it in a way that doesn't impinge his running.
I don't think Randy's hair impinges his running. If he had it all flowing down, but he's got it sort of tied up in a little pony, isn't
Okay, all right. Well,
low pony.
Well, Matt Jay's hair, lovely, and even lovelier. May I bless that hair, because it's scored us 2 lovely goals.
Yeah, I mean, he can take a set piece, can't he? The whip he gets on those, let's call it a shot. There's the whip he gets on those shots and crosses is like amazing. He put into, and there's a couple of times when Woodman took the corners from the right hand side, so I guess they wanted a in swinger.
Yeah.
The left foot, and I mean, he didn't quite have his crossing dialed in last night, Woodman, because they kept sort of floating miles over the top. But I was like, get Jay on him, get him in any opportunity to whip one of those balls in, because it's like, you can get those crosses. Like, I'm not comparing him to David Beckham, but when you see him, and every time it's like it looks different to when other players cross it, and it was yeah.
Well, it's a brilliant extra tool to have in the toolkit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
long may it continue.
Absolutely, and Matt Taylor was obviously super chuffed. Like, I think we were all gutted with the equaliser, obviously, but Taylor, in that interview, he's super chuffed with how they've played, with that result. To have a game in hand, to be away at Lincoln, you think, how's that going to go?
Yeah, you could tell he was like over the moon, wasn't he? And it's like, it's so disappointing to concede a goal that late in the game, especially when you're on the verge of getting the 3 points in probably the biggest game of the season in terms of the significance, it being a game in hand, it being against top of the league,
Yeah.
the position we find ourselves in. But yeah, still, it was a really solid performance, and I think considering you look at the lineup and you look at the kind of the injuries we've had, we'll come on to that, but yeah. Great result, really, isn't it?
It really is a great result. And I think 120 went up from Exeter, which is incredible on a Tuesday night to go all that way to Lincoln.
123, fair play to you.
Wow, absolute triumph. So, yeah, Taylor was chuffed. We
You'd
were
take
all
a day
chuffed.
off work for that, wouldn't you?
Sure.
How far is it?
5
6 hours?
Well, on the coach, it's 6-7 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're driving
Yeah.
fast, you probably do it in 5
Yeah.
miles. So good on you. You're still on your way back again, I expect.
Worth it, I reckon. Missing a day's pay for that. What a
Great.
night. I'd love to have been there.
Oh, what a night.
Although that siren would have done my head in.
What was that about? So they didn't have it at the start, and then I thought, they've been listening to us, and they realise everyone hates them for it, and then
Oh, they don't care about that.
No,
they
really
definitely don't care about that.
and out it comes again. And they're getting 8,000 at home, and that effing siren.
Yeah.
You just think, do
I
us a
reckon there's
favour.
probably some right-thinking Lincoln fans who hate it as much as everyone else. They're probably thinking, oh, shut up. That
Surely.
siren every time.
I was interested to hear the commentary last night say that people were leaving before the end.
Right.
I'm interested. I don't know. This is off topic, really.
Who
but
would leave before the end? Like, who?
I don't know. I mean, the commentary was saying, people are on their way. This
I
was,
know
you
they were coming right down to the edge of the pitch.
Right.
And sort of like waiting out sort of watching the last few minutes from there. If you left before the end of that match, whatever reason you think you had that was valid, you're wrong. You're wrong.
So wrong.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Dan, I want to talk about Ryan Bowman.
Yeah.
I
think we
really
should.
like him.
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah.
I think if it comes good, it'll be great. Is it going to come good?
Well, I mean, it depends, doesn't it, what you mean by coming good? Do you mean you need to score goals?
Well, I mean, when we were last at home, when we played Bury, I thought he was great. He did everything that you could expect of someone in terms of hold-up play. We had a lot of possession in the midfield, and loads of that was down to him protecting the midfield, holding the ball long enough.
Yeah, that I thought was lack of support was the issue in that game.
Yeah, but yesterday, or rather, what I'm talking about is Lincoln away, he had at least one very clear-cut chance.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we
It's
were watching on
difficult
the
to
telly.
even see what happened, isn't it? You know, like, it looked like it just sort of, I don't know, he mishit it or it bounced off him or...
Yeah.
Anyway, it went back the way it came rather than into the goal, which was being generous 3 yards away from him.
Yeah,
Probably
and
more, probably less, sorry.
you know, I'm fully appreciative of the point we got away from home at Lincoln, but if we're 2-0 up with
Yeah.
half an hour left,
Oh, yeah, no
defending
way.
like we're doing,
Yeah.
I think we're good for the 3 points.
Yeah.
And 3 points there, that puts us very close to 4th place.
Yeah.
And then we've got every opportunity, bearing in mind the other teams we've got to play, Mansfield and so on, that puts us, and acknowledging MK's dodgy form, that puts us in every sense up for automatics. And I really don't want to be hard on him because
Yeah,
it's
we
really
don't-
obvious when you miss a goal.
Yeah, and we
In a
don't
way
want to
that it isn't.
blame it on him, the fact that we didn't get the 3 points. Although we did end up, you know, ruin those missed chances, didn't we? And that being probably the most obvious of them. Also, free
Wilson.
header for Donovan Wilson
Yeah.
in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of those, by the way, were sort of engineered by Kane Wilson running down that right hand side, and we would look like we were just like get the ball to the right hand side every time because he was brilliant.
Well, it was interesting that Bury, first half, we had all that possession on the wing and we didn't cross it.
Yeah.
And we really needed to. So Wilson doing that kind of thing, brilliant. Love it. So all power to him with that kind of space and time and ability.
Yeah, there must have been 3 or 4 crosses he made which should have had someone on the end of it. And he's done everything he can to put the ball into the right place there. We got 2 up front. Someone should have been getting, either getting nearer to it or making more of those chances. And it's difficult in it because neither of them have played much. Both
No.
those two, Donovan Wilson and El Bowman, haven't played that much football for us yet. But it has probably cost us,
Well, we're nearly in March now, so Saturday's game will be March. And he came in January and Stockley went in January. And, I'm desperate for him to score. I honestly believe the stuff he's done in terms of hold-up's been significant. Like we've always said, he scored more in the Scottish Premiership than Stockley did.
Yeah.
I think if he gets one, he'll kick on. I don't expect him to get 10 before the end of the season, but 3 or 4 could be really, really useful. And I think once he gets his first, surely that scuff or whatever it was last night at Lincoln was lack of confidence.
Yeah.
Or desperate to score.
We saw Fort come back as well, so that's another injury that looks like it's
Yeah.
behind us.
Brilliant.
Isn't it sickener to see Jayden Stockley sat on the bench for Preston?
Well, goodness me.
Because, I mean,
How must he feel?
we need him so badly at the moment, and they don't. Well, they win. I think they won.
They've pushed on quite well, haven't
I
they?
can't remember what it was on Saturday. They were definitely 3-0 up at one point.
Didn't even get off the bench.
He didn't get off the bench. I mean,
No.
you're not going to bring on another striker, are you, really, when you're 3-0 up or already scored 3? But it's just like, come on.
Yeah. In consolation, he was always going somewhere.
Yeah, and we had no say in it. They activated a release clause in his contract, and he was, what can you do?
But
It's a shame, isn't it?
it really is a shame.
If he was there banging him in for Preston, you could,
You'd think fair
I'd
enough,
have no
wouldn't you?
complaints, but he's not even playing. You don't even want him.
Well, when you look at them...
Give him back.
When you look at some of our players that have left us in recent years, I mean, Ampadu, obviously, he's gone to Chelsea, who are top 4 Premier League club, or top 6, certainly. But he isn't playing, especially now towards the end of the season. He hasn't gone to Derby on loan or anything like that.
No.
Stockley on the bench for Preston. You think that is the difference. Those players are the difference between us being champions and us maybe getting automatics or getting into playoffs.
Oh, imagine it. I mean, I know Ampadu left a few years ago now, but, I mean, he'd be walking into that team, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So, I hope that Bowman can just get a bit, because I think he'll push on. He's not old. If he gets a few for us this season, next season will be great. I think if we do manage to go up, he'll be a real asset one way or another.
He's definitely a useful player to have, and
Yeah.
but I just feel like it'd be because we need goals so badly. I mean, maybe not now we've got Matt J, but we do need him, don't we? But it would be good for him.
We need a striker. I'm putting down the marker, Dan, that this Saturday, home at Tranmere, we need a goal from 2 different forward players.
Oh, that'd be great. It'd be so good for just the confidence of everyone. I just want to say on Ryan Bowman, obviously last week there was the fans forum with Matt Taylor, Kane Wilson and Ryan Bowman.
It's a good lineup.
Great lineup.
A normal lineup.
Yeah.
For normal things.
Absolutely normal. Nothing not normal about any of this.
Well, that makes perfect normal sense to me.
Anyway, I was watching it through. There's a live video on the Facebook, I think it was. So I'm watching it through. It goes to questions from the audience. Someone asked Ryan Bowman a question about a couple of those kind of challenges, incidents in when he's playing in Scotland, where he kind of got a bit of infamy, and he's in the paper for these. I think one's a kind of elbow in it where he gets the moniker from, and the other one I think was a high foot or something. Anyway, he's basically become famous because he's
clonked a few old firm
and
players.
He's pissed off both Celtic and Rangers, uniting the two clubs for the first time in probably
Since
centuries.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, he's talking about what really happened in this. I think it's the high boot.
Okay.
And he's just explaining what happened. It goes through to the bit he's going and all the photographers there. Out of nowhere, these little emoji sunglasses appear on his face for a split second.
On the Facebook feed.
On the Facebook video. Not in real life. He doesn't put a pair on. It's like those sort of thug life gifs or whatever. They just appear, and I just want to give whoever did that really made me laugh. And shout out to you.
Big shout out.
I don't know if anyone else noticed it. No one had commented it, and I had to watch it back about 3 times. Did that just happen? Yep. Someone stuck a little pair of cool shades on him when he's just going just kick the guy in the chest.
Bowman Thug Life.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying what the Terrace, merchandise website are doing. They're kind of picking up on these niche things, aren't they? So I'd like to see some Bowman Thug Life sunglasses or T-shirts or elbow pads, maybe.
Yeah. Helmets for the opposition.
Helmets for the other chest pads, bulletproof vests, that kind of thing. Thug Life Ryan Bowman, shout out to you. And shout out to everyone that's doing interesting things for Exeter City. It's good to see things like Some Sunny Day, the fanzine, and I really think that Scott Palfrey does really good stuff with social media for City. So
Exeter City's social media thing is second to none. It's great.
So good. Love it. And, there's other clubs who are trying to be, I don't know what they're trying to be, but sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're narky. Argyle's particularly bad and weird and embarrassing when they get that lad off Big Brother on there or
What a
whatever.
surprise.
Your ground's in ruins, just like your reputation. But, yeah, it's great to see City doing so many good things. That's just another example of that.
Yeah.
So our next game is home to Tranmere. They're not flying high, but they're, on the edge of the playoffs.
Yeah. They're a little inconsistent, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they only came up last year, so they must be well pleased with that.
Yeah.
That might either do them good stead, thinking, well, nothing's lost here, so they might push on to playoffs. And obviously it's a big club historically, or they might just think, well, we've had a good year, doesn't really matter too much. We'll see. So we'll see how City do against them. Be a different game to Bury or Crewe or Lincoln, actually. This, in a sense, is the break in the run of death.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the end. We can't be including this in the run of death.
Can we not?
Otherwise, you're just calling the whole league the run of death.
Well, we've still got Mansfield, haven't we? But yeah, I guess that's a fair point. Okay, so the run of death's over.
Yeah.
And we've got through it with our lives.
So let's bookmark it there. But I think we got 8 points, didn't we, from 13? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right. It can't be 13. That's bad maths, Dan.
I don't know.
Presumably 15.
15.
Yeah.
And we got 8 points.
Well, I think that's more than we could have possibly dreamt of, really. I think we said if we got 9, it would be an absolute dream scenario.
I mean, considering, and half of them, more than half of them were away, weren't they? Away games that like...
Yeah, well, Crewe had won the last 5. Lincoln, obviously Lincoln. Bury at home.
Carlisle away.
So
we were breaking up some teams' good form. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and MK was, of course, the first one of that, wasn't it? So those things are all really great to see. Tranmere, hopefully, can be the place where we knock on a bit further.
Should be, I think,
They've got, formerly of City fame, James Norwood. I mean, he hardly turned out for us, but of course we had him on loan for a long time, and then he really kicked on for Forest Green and Tranmere now, and he's not young, but he's top scorer in the league, I think.
I think so, he was, with 20 goals. He's sort of like the modern-day John Aldridge.
I mean, that's huge. So if we can keep him quiet, we should be in with a good chance. And
we can keep anybody quiet, really.
Yeah, we can. That's absolutely in our favour, isn't it? So we'll see how that goes. But 3 points Saturday. I don't think we can jump over Milton Keynes this game, but of course they're completely inconsistent. Yeah. And I've firmly got my eyes on Mansfield coming up, who, again, another season full of promise, and then they can't really run through with it. So we'll see. We might be catching them at a good time.
Yeah.
And if we can play them and leapfrog them at the same time, that'll be huge. I'm fully of the belief that third automatic place can be ours. It's much closer than it was.
Yeah, there's 12 games to go. It's quite a forgiving league, isn't it? Teams like Lincoln can sort of go on these less than great runs and still remain top of the league. We've had dips here and there, and we've still maintained our kind of rough position around there. So yeah, it can happen, and that's definitely enough time.
It's starting to drop away a bit, isn't it? Stevenage, Colchester, they're starting to look like there's a bit of a gap. So I think we'd have to do something pretty disastrously wrong not to get playoffs. And I hope that in the comfort of that kind of situation, we can knock right on and aim for that third place.
Yeah.
I think Bury maybe will be the ones to win it. Lincoln, as we saw last night, they got an equaliser, but they didn't get the winner.
Yeah, I think, and that was at home. I think on current form, you'd have to suggest Bury, but again, it's long enough that still anything can happen in that.
You can have 2 dips in a 12-game run and still get enough points to do something significant, can't you?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But if you got any thoughts about how you think Tranmere at home will go, you can get in touch with us. We're really keen to hear from you.
Although you haven't got a huge amount of time. Obviously, this podcast coming out on Thursday, games on Saturday.
We still want to hear from you.
Yeah, do it. And, about anything, if you want to get in touch, that'd be great to hear.
We're really enjoying having you guys listen. We're really enjoying talking a lot about City. It's been an enjoyable couple of months getting stuck into this. But what's been especially enjoyable is just the sense of joy around the club at the minute. And we talked about it, I think, back in episode 1, about how we didn't really realise how it had got. You and I were both so firm on the Tisdale club.
Yeah.
We weren't mad about him, but we thought he was the best thing. That actually, well, holding my hands up, I hadn't realised how far we'd shifted and how it wasn't really an enjoyable thing anymore. And I feel like this season's been great. It's just been fun. And
Yeah, it really has, hasn't it? And there is a sort of like a noticeable difference. And it feels better, doesn't it? It feels fresh. And like, we made some great signings. I just want to mention Archie Collins again. I'm sure we spoke about him on previous episodes, but like, he looks such a player, you know?
Yeah, he really does. I mean, you don't want to curse it, but he's going to be the next one that proves a success, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But he's been great. And I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely not old. 18, 19 max, I think. And that's huge. To come into this league full of right old bruisers and give a brilliant account of yourself is great. Dan, I really feel like last year, you know, there was the Stevenage game and it was misery, and we really kind of blew our chances at that point.
Yeah.
And then there was Wembley, of course.
Well, after that, there was the elation of like those two games against Lincoln again. You know,
and that
like,
really mirrors what happened the season before. We were great in the Carlisle playoffs,
Yeah.
and then Wembley, nothing. I don't feel like that's going to happen again. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but I don't feel like we're going to go out with a whimper. I
No.
feel like Taylor's galvanised because it's so much fun. That's the players are picking up on that. The fans
Yeah.
are picking up on that. I don't think whatever happens, I'll say it now. It's not going to be we just didn't stick our neck out. It's going to be we gave it a good go.
Yeah, I do think we'll go for it, and that's what we haven't done the last 2 years in the final. You know, when it came to those games, we didn't go for it. And I can understand that sort of pragmatic approach. At the time, it's like, you know, there's merit in that way of doing it. But, you know, if we manage to get there again, if we get to that Wembley final again, time to try something different. And I think, you know, I have every confidence Taylor will go for it. We came out last night, you know, like against Lincoln, we came out like flying.
Yeah.
And like, I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, I think that will be firmly on his mind. And I think that's what might mean that we push on for automatics, because I don't really believe this, but there were always people who said the club doesn't want to get promoted for whatever reason. The club doesn't want to get promoted, which I thought was, surely that's a nonsense. It's not like we're heading for the Premier League, which will inevitably mean disappearing back down the leagues again. This is just up to League One. But I can really see how people could logically say that, because it really looked like we didn't want to win. And I think that happened from about this time, so that it looked like we were settling for playoffs. And then, we got this great big plan because we battered our playoff semi-finalist rivals both times. And then you get to Wembley and nothing. So I just want to mark up in another prophetic voice, which surely will be proved correct, that I think whatever happens, we're going to go for it.
Yeah.
And I welcome that.
Pretty good track record so far with the old predictions. Have we? No, I actually predicted that we'd beat Lincoln, and it wasn't far off, was it?
Wasn't far off. That extra minute the ref found has proved your downfall.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot been said about that. Taylor didn't mention it. I think that's football. It's a minimum. You know, when they put 4 minutes up on the board, that's a minimum. We made a sub during those 4 minutes. I don't really have any complaints about it.
And we got lucky with the penalty.
We really got lucky with that penalty.
So anyway, fair enough. The Monsters march on. Exeter City, 4th, then 3rd place. Exeter City are coming for you. Friends, it's been good to talk to you. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Tell your friends. Leave us a review. Share our stuff on Twitter, on Facebook.
Please do.
If you like what we're doing, please get in touch. At Big Bank Pod on Twitter and bigbankpod@gmail.com on the email. And my name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Yep.
We'll speak to you again soon.
I just want to say, right at the end, on day of recording, happy birthday, Matt J, man of the moment. See you next week.